Hello, I'm FGX Toycat and welcome back to the Minecraft update news videos. They have the best type of update news to share with you all because a brand new beta or snapshot update is available for Minecraft Java Edition right now. This is a Nether update snapshot, which means that it contains new Nethery features, including an ore I bet you never expected to see right here. That's right, we've got Nether gold ore alongside a brand new plant that is going to seriously change how you get around in the normal Minecraft world. Seriously, this is an amazing magical beanstalk that you can just find in regular Minecraft. It's super cool for a bunch of reasons, but as well as a brand new plant, as well as a brand new ore, we also have, for the first time in a very long time, a brand new enchantment, and an armor enchantment at that too. Soul Speed is a really cool enchantment, and all three of these things we'll be explaining and talking about in today's video, alongside the question of, like, why are we in a mostly destroyed chunk, alongside the question of, oh yeah, wasn't there a Bedrock beta today too? Why are we talking about the Java snapshot so much, but not the Bedrock beta? Let's explain all of that, and the mysterious Redstone note, which came alongside this snapshot, because it's free features and a big note of intent as to what they're doing in the future. Basically, it's been a big week for update news, and I'm going to dive straight into it with today's video, which I hope you will enjoy. You can like the video if so. But let's start by talking about the fact that this snapshot, 20W11A, you might be confused by it because it sounds like it's a 2011 snapshot. No, this is a 1.16 Nether update snapshot. It's called 20W11A because it's the first snapshot in the 11th week of 2020, which is the current year. Fun fact, that always shocks me. I keep thinking it's 2019. Maybe it's just a me problem. But yeah, the thing about this snapshot that's interesting is that it contains a few new features. The easiest with which to explain is the twisting vines. So twisting vines are found in the warp forest, which, if you don't know the biome names, it's the blue biome. They're hard to miss, and the reason these are so interesting is because if you do take one of those from there, you can take just a single one of these and bone mill it to find a lot more. Again, just a few bone mill, or alternatively just waiting and letting it grow, can result in a lot of twisting vines because they do multiply quite fast. And as well as that, you can also use bone mill and this together to make the new easiest ladder system in Minecraft. You might think that the smartest way to get around is to use scaffolding, and right now that is definitely true. Scaffolding was a really clever addition to the last update in Minecraft, where you can scaffold yourself all the way up to the sky. Wait, why is it going sideways? Scaffolding was a really clever way to allow you to ladder up out of nowhere, basically, and then have something that was destroyable with just a single breakable click. However, again, you know, like the fact that it has to be placed in a single stack, and, you know, it's a whole thing. However, you do need to bring as many scaffolding as you want to bring with you if you want to do something. However, if you want to make, twisting vines, if you just want to get up really high, let's say to the very top of this biome, do you know how fast you can do that? You just need a few bone meal. I think, again, a single one of these and then a bunch of bone meal, and you can stack up there instantly. This means that unlike scaffolding, where you'd need perhaps 2 stacks to go 100 blocks, then instead with the twisting vines, you can out of nowhere create this thing, and you can destroy it from any point up there if you really want to. And there's just something a bit more beautiful about doing this. Admittedly, it's a little bit slower, and admittedly, the other big downside that you might not hear discussed is that, like, yeah, if you want to place blocks on the side of this, it can be surprisingly hard to do. Again, it's not really built to be scaffolding. They kind of want it to, again, not be a direct competitor, but if you want to go up in Minecraft, we now have a new best material. Also, we now have a type of vine that can come from the floor rather than having to come from the ceiling. We have 2 types of ceiling vines, the creeping vines, a Nether vine, as well as the regular vines. It's cool to see one that works like this because, again, it has all the ladder functionality you know and you expect, except for being able to easily place blocks on the side of it, which, again, if you do that, it's going to remove most of it. Although, actually, wait, do you see this? It kind of grew into lots of different bits. Is that intentional? I really don't think that is. Either I found a bug or actually a pretty cool bit of intentional behavior. I really can't decide which it is. But yeah, basically, this is the new twisting vines. It's a vine that comes upwards, and it's a really cool way to get upwards that replaces scaffolding if you only use scaffolding to go up. Again, I would say, let's say we want to get over that lava but not go into it. Then I would say scaffolding definitely has its place because, again, you can place scaffolding up to 6 blocks away from your initial one if you really want to. That is cool. That is an ability that's not going away. However, otherwise, I would say, like, we've still got some issues, right? So anyway, long story short, scaffolding still kind of valuable, but as far as going upwards, twisting vines allow you to do that on the fly anywhere, and it's kind of cool that we have another way to get around in the game because we kind of need one of those, right? Next up, let's talk about where all these little blue soul things are coming from, because you know what, fun fact, we are standing in the Soul Sand Valley, and we're standing in the Soul Sand Valley with some Soul Speed boots. So Soul Speed is a brand new enchantment that allows you to walk on soul sand and soul soil, 2 blocks which have traditionally slowed you down with a slight decreased movement penalty. Or rather, to be more precise, it actually increases your speed while on both of those blocks. And though in most circumstances, this levels out to being slightly slower than walking, this is only when you use the Soul Speed 1 enchantment. You might not know this, but there actually is 3 levels of this enchantment. You get Soul Speed 1, which we put on our gold boots right here, and we've got some Soul Speed 3, which we put on some netherite boots, because that's where you want to put it. As you can see, while walking around, this isn't me sprinting, this is me walking around, I can actually walk faster on soul sand, I can walk faster on soul sand, soil, than I can actually in the normal overworld on a grass block or any other normal Minecraft block. That is pretty darn cool, right? Being able to walk at faster than normal speeds just because of enchantment is great, because it means if we sprint, we can go much faster than even that. But it gets even better than this, right? Because there are other speed buffs in Minecraft. Like, for real, look at the speed that I can run along the soul sand right here. It makes getting around soul sand valleys a really fun thing, and indeed it means you can get around this part of the Nether faster than any other part. But bear in mind, there are other movement buffs in Minecraft, including, say, a speed potion. You can stack these movement buffs together. So say you take soul speed 3, you take that soul speed 3 enchantment, you combine it with the swiftness potion level 2. It means that we can actually run at this speed right here. This looks like it's, again, we're going faster than a minecart. It looks like we're going, doing some insane hacks, but no, this is just speed 2 and soul speed. It's pretty darn great. But the great thing about this speed effect is you can also get it from beacons if you so choose. So once your speed potion runs out, you can continually keep reapplying it just by being near a beacon, which means that yes, if you beacon up your Nether, now there is an actual reason to, because combine it with soul speed, and you can get around certain parts of your Nether insanely quickly. I mean, look at the speed we're getting around right here. Also, we have a little bit of fight going on. But yeah, just to show you the difference between speeds, in case you kind of are curious, here is the speed of me going on soul sand. It's pretty fast, I think we can all agree. Here's the speed of me going on dirt. I mean, it's nice, it's great, but as soon as we get back on soul soil, it's just amazing the difference that you can spot right there. And yeah, Minecraft is allowing you to go faster on foot. I like this because even though it's not going to be as fast and competitive as the ice boat is right now, again, ride a boat on ice and you'll see what I mean, it's the fastest form of transport Minecraft has by just a long way, and flying is obviously going to be better if you can waste an elytra. If you have some soul speed boots, which I really recommend with mending, then you'll be able to get through this. Why do I recommend having soul speed boots and mending? Well, because every single time you walk on a soul sand block, you have a chance of damaging your boots. It was actually kind of described as like, oh yeah, you damage your boots when you walk, but the way it basically works is there is a 4% chance of every single block you stand on with the soul speed enchantment, if it is a soul sand or soul soil block, damaging your boots. And this is actually a kind of big deal for the lower tiers. For the higher up tiers, like, Diamond has 1,600 uses, that effectively means that you can walk 32,000 blocks of soul sand with these boots before they get, done for, which, isn't so many that you can never think about it, but it is a lot. And yeah, just keep in mind that if you have mending on these boots, then it should help you out a lot too. Also keep in mind this is something they might be changing in the future. They might, buff or debuff it even more, depending on what the uptake looks like and depending on how people use this. I personally love it so much. I mean, just look at this as a way to get around the Nether. It seems silly, but it's very much real. It's a thing you can do, because have you ever wanted to go at horse speed? Well, guess what? You can go faster than most horses, and you can do that using speed 2 and soul speed 3. Also, how do you get this soul speed 3 enchantment, I hear you ask? And by that I mean I rhetorically ask, because that's what YouTubers do. They rhetorically ask themselves a question on the assumption that the audience wants to hear the answer. And yeah, long story short, it's a way to make use of the bartering mechanic. If you give these piglins some gold, they'll give you some stuff in return, right? And that stuff in return can now include, obviously, the soul speed enchantment. I actually kind of like this, because kind of like how we got the exclusive treasure enchantments, mending and frostwalker can only be gotten via fishing and other treasure sources. Bartering is the only way to get soul speed, which makes sense. It's a Nether enchantment. You can only get it in the Nether, and I love that a lot. It also gives a brand new, great use to the bartering mechanic, in my opinion. So yeah, more reasons to barter, more reasons to be on soul sand, more reasons to traverse the Nether by foot. I love it all, and I hope that it actually leads to some pretty significant improvements. Because again, the thing I find unique about this is that it will mean that getting around the Nether by foot might be great. This enchantment only takes damage when you're on soul soil, which means if you stack it with other enchantments, just your normal boot enchantments, then you can get around the overworld without any extra damage, except when you come here to the Nether, you could take advantage of soul soil. Also, since it slows other people down while speeding you up, it's kind of like that whole thing about well, it's not enough for me to succeed, others must fail. And yeah, if it's not enough for me to go fast, others must be slowed down. And that is what this feature totally does. Anyway, you might be curious about how, piglins get all the gold which they use for their, weapons in the Nether. And today, that answer has finally been answered. Because as of this snapshot, there are now 2 separate ways to find the same material, gold ore. There is now gold ore, and there is never gold ore. A lot of people are curious about what they call it. It's gold ore, but in the nether. It's like never quartz ore. If there was quartz in the overworld, which, fun idea, by the way, to add if you want to have a fun little cave update feature. But, you know, if there was, never quartz in the overworld, it'd be called quartz. If there's never gold in the overworld, it's called gold. It's a simple system, in my opinion. But yeah, there is now never gold ore found in the nether, and it's a really interesting block because I was curious about, you know, we've known it'd be added for quite some time, or at least I've known it. Jeb said that he'd take the top suggestions from Minecraft feedback. It's been shown in Minecraft art. A lot of people said, like, no, Toycat, you're being a conspiracy theorist, you know, looking at the Minecraft art and taking things from it. You know, admittedly, a lot of people said that, and a lot of people said, like, oh no, it's definitely been ruled out. I mean, Jeb hinted that it would be that way. No, it's really come to the game. This is my opportunity to say, hey, the things I include in my videos, I can't talk about anyone else's. I try to only talk about things that I think actually are coming to the game, or at least have a probability of being so. And yeah, given that they hinted never gold so many different times, it would be weird if they didn't add it, which is why they've done so for this update. They're going to be changing the texture, so by the time the update arrives for both this and Bedrock, expect this to be changed. And also by the time this arrives for Bedrock in the form of a beta, I expect that never gold ore will undergo quite some changes as it is. The reason for that is because, you know, ore spawning and stuff like that, it's still going to be tricky, but just bear in mind, when you're in the nether now, you can find some gold, you can find some quartz. But how does that relate to, weren't I earlier in like a big destroyed chunk? Well, actually, I was there because I wanted to find out how useful finding gold in the nether actually is. Because the key question I think it's worth asking yourself when it comes to a brand new Minecraft ore is there a point of this existing? Is there a point of going out and finding this and mining it with my hard-earned netherite pickaxe, or in this case, my creative gotten Minecraft pickaxe? And that's the question I wanted to answer with a few simple chunk checks. So yeah, what I've done is I've destroyed a few chunks all the way up from 105 blocks in the sky all the way down to Bedrock, and we're going to see how many of each ore we get. There are 2 nether ores, there's never quartz and there's never gold, and we can use this data to work out, you know, compared to never quartz, how frequently never gold spawns. Because I was pleasantly surprised to learn that every single chunk that I, searched had some never gold found in it somewhere. As you can see, never gold all over this one, even at the quite low levels, and never gold all over these ones, even at the quite high levels. It seems to spawn pretty much everywhere in the nether, which is unique because in the overworld it only spawns below Y40, with the exception being the biome that it already spawns quite commonly in. But we'll talk about that in a second. For now, let's go through this. So if we chart out the data, it looks something a little bit like this. As you can see, we found 32 gold veins across 4 different randomly chosen chunks. That gives us a very nice even number of 8 separate gold veins per chunk on average. Obviously, some will have more, some will have less, because it's random. It's not based on the chunk. And then we found, on average, 12 never quartz per chunk. So it's about 66% as rare as, never quartz per, vein. However, the other thing to keep in mind is that gold veins are smaller than never quartz on average. I mean, you do find, nice gold veins here, but you can see how never quartz just spawns in these big batches of 15 to 20 ores, whereas gold veins spawn more like, I would say 6 to 10 seems to be the average, but this is notably higher than the average on, also you sometimes see more than 10. It's worth noting, you see bigger veins of gold in the nether than you ever see in the overworld, and this means that the average size of a vein is actually larger here than in the overworld. So, is it worth going to the nether, particularly to mine gold ore? I would say not really. I would say strip mining the nether for gold ore is never going to be worth it, particularly because you might think like, well, it's cool, we've got the nether, a particular place to go for gold now. We already had a place to go for gold, and that is the Mesa biome. The Mesa biome is a biome where you find gold everywhere and in much larger quantities, meaning that you won't be looking for nether quartz here. You'll just find it on accident while looking for, by the way, the one ancient debris we found per chunk, all the way up here, like way higher than it should have been. I'm curious if that's like a biome particular thing, or if that's a bug, or if it's something they've changed since the snapshot will be spoke about it first. Again, it's something I intend to check when the update gets to a more finished state, but you can see how, like, yeah, you're going to be looking for an ancient debris, and at the same time, you're going to happen to find some gold, which is handy, because you need gold to make netherite. So yeah, these gold veins exist in the nether. It's here for people who want to explore the nether, who want to go mining in the nether for the fun of it. It's there for people who are mining ancient debris to get some gold, which they can smelt out and make their netherite out of at the same time. And it's also, interestingly enough, something that people will be able to take advantage of when first exploring the nether, because kind of like how nether quartz isn't actually that common. Like when you hear only 11.5 veins a chunk, you might be like, well, that's kind of, you know, that's not as much as you might expect. But bear in mind, you know, that's about as common as iron ore in the overworld. But the reason that it's so valuable, the reason it's so great, the reason that people mine it so often, and the reason it's a great source of experience, as well as just a nice block in general, is because you can find it so much. If you go in any biome, which is now admittedly just one of the 4 biomes, but if you go anywhere where you find exposed netherrack, you're going to find a lot of exposed nether quartz, because it is just, you know, the nether has a lot more exposed than the overworld when it comes to caves and systems and stuff. So yeah, all you have to do is explore a little bit, fly around, or run around on your source speed boots, am I right? But all you have to do is run around and look for some veins in any exposed netherrack, and you're going to find a bunch of it everywhere, even in the weirdest, riskiest places. This is the niche which nether gold fills, in my opinion. Like, sure, you're not going to be looking specifically for it, but you're going to find it all over the place. And if you want to get a lot of gold really quickly by mining, you don't know where a mesa biome is, but you do have access to the nether, well, guess what? Here's a vein, here's a vein. You're going to find it all over the place in newly explored chunks. It won't backfill into existing... Did that guy just fall off? But it won't backfill into existingly, explored chunks. If you have a current nether, you won't find gold in that nether right now, but you will find it in any new chunks. So if you find new biomes, you're going to find a lot of new nether gold right there. So that's really cool, a new way to find gold. It's not particularly practical, but it is a really cool flavor feature, and it is a really cool potential for something in the future. But yeah, the thing I find interesting about this is we have now 2 biomes with which to find gold. We have the mesa, we have the nether, as to, you know, really all of the nether biomes, so it's kind of like 5 biomes with which to find gold, but we don't have a particular biome to find anything else besides emerald ore and nether quartz. I think we need a particular biome to find pretty much every ore in Minecraft, but in particular we need iron ores and we need lapis ores to have their own biomes, to, like, you know, not the only place that it spawns, but a place where it spawns in higher incidence. Why do I think we need that? I think we need that because in the same way when you need to, you know, find gold, you can either make a gold farm or you can go look for it. I think it'd be more fun that players who are mining, you know, doing half of the title of this game, which it doesn't say right here actually, doing half of the title of this game, Minecraft, which notably no cave update, but different point, you know, when you're playing a game called Minecraft, I feel like the mining should be a key part of it, and there should be some strategy to mining, and the easiest way to add strategy is like, hey, swamps have a bunch more, you know, lapis than normal because, I don't know, enchantability, potion magic, or whatever. That's why witches are drawn there. Boom, I've just given you your reason. And we could say like, oh yeah, there's more redstone found in deserts because they're dry. You don't come up with some logic, make it work, and then have a actual tactical way to find different ores. I think that would be a great addition to Minecraft, because right now the way it works is just like, oh yeah, go looking for ores. You'll find a bunch of them, and in small quantities compared to farming them. Because speaking of farming them, let's move on to the kind of big last thing right here. So here is the Nether Update snapshot page. If you don't know, every snapshot comes with a post on the Minecraft website giving you a brief explanation in case you don't want to watch these videos. You want to see it in text form. That's a thing you can do instead. And yeah, the interesting thing about these posts is that this one didn't just do the normal thing of saying, hey, did you know here are the features in the update? It did still do that, of course, but it has this huge note about Redstone. Half of the changelog is all about this note about Redstone and about what they're doing in the future, because the Redstone community, kind of like the PvP community, the combat community, is very sensitive to change. I think this is true for any Minecraft community. Any changes which threaten the way things are right now are always seen with a little bit of caution by any affected Minecraft community. That's why the combat people still haven't quite gone over, like, you know, the changes from 2015, let me remind you. And in the same way, every time there's a minor change to Redstone, there's a bunch of Redstone YouTubers and people in the technical Minecraft space that jump on it and say this is worse in every way. And basically in their kind of response, you know, the response to this is like, hey, we acknowledge that's a thing, but there's a lot of Redstone behavior that is undefined, and we know the players consider undefined behavior as being an interesting aspect of Redstone and enjoy experimenting with and using undefined behavior to build unique contraptions to share with the rest of the community. Basically, they're saying, yeah, we get it. People use behavior that isn't intentional to do cool things. People want that behavior there, even if we don't. However, the quirks of undefined behavior can be quite surprising even when building simple contraptions. This quirkiness can be a negative experience for players new to Redstone and may turn them away from this very unique and exciting aspect of Minecraft, as well as the vast Redstone community behind it. Our goal is to bring all Redstone components up to a level of quality that we are happy with, and we will be making adjustments where it makes the most sense for Redstone going forwards. Any changes will be communicated in the snapshot changelogs, as well as bringing your feedback and comments. Basically, in response to the kind of theme that we've been seeing from developers over this past week, is they want to change a few things such as mob farms, they want to change a few things such as Redstone behavior, but they know the backlash every time they do, again, amongst these Redstone YouTubers with their huge audiences, is absolutely wild. So they're just kind of saying, hey, we're going to be making some changes, rather than announcing them in the form of snapshots, which are betas by the way. They're saying we're going to announce that we're going to announce some changes, and it's a way of softening the blow. Something Redstone related is clearly coming, either next week or in the pipeline right now, and it's going to be really, really interesting because, again, I feel like it's a natural thing for any Minecraft community to try to defend its interests, and if you're a Redstone YouTuber, you've made your bread and butter out of this niche mechanic, because even quasi-connectivity, which is one of the most interesting Java exclusive mechanics that was unintentional, it's done so much for the Redstone world. All of these different mechanics are of course unintentional, and I can understand why if you're a YouTuber, you built your bread and butter on that, you don't want it to go away, but also you see why you see a lot of people kind of like defending their interests as a content creator over the interests of the game as a whole, and that's why they're putting this thing on here. They've clarified before, things like quasi-connectivity aren't going away. Again, that's the most important one. It's been directly confirmed, even though it was a bug originally, they're not removing it, but they do want to play around with some features, again, specifically including things like mob farms, because even though people like iron farms, because there's no way to get iron later on the game, it's something they could presumably fix in future updates. Future updates, which by the way, we know they're working on right now. This tweet from Dinnerbone says the Minecraft team just got back from a few days workshop where we tried to come up with as many ideas as we can fit into the next update. We already do the theme, but this is a stage where we're trying to go through all the community and dev suggestions for content ideas, and yeah, look, here's a team of the Minecraft people. Isn't that fun and beautiful? Yes, it is the answer to that question. But yeah, basically it's you can even see a bunch you can even see a bunch of like voting and stuff. It's a cute little thing that you can see. Minecraft development is happening all the time, even on future updates. It's a whole fun thing. And just keep in mind that Redstone is like in the crosshairs for some small changes, but if you are a Redstone person, and there's a lot of people who are Redstone people, like I like Redstone a lot as the base mechanic, but I am one of the people who cannot get into all the quirks of why you need cauldrons to make certain builds work, and how Redstone doesn't work correctly in the way that you're taught once you get into the complex contraptions. There are so many things that just don't work how you think they work as soon as you start diving into things, and that is just an interesting kind of part of Minecraft, I guess, is the simplest way to explain it, that I would love to see simplified in certain ways. I'd love to see the mine part of Minecraft obviously be more important. I don't think they should do so at the expense of mob farms. I think they should make mob farms exist in some way, but just make mining either the same or better, or, potentially improvable to a level where it's actually worth doing, rather than just like, oh yeah, you don't know how to make an iron golem farm, which by the way abuses a mechanic and how villagers spawn iron golems. Well, guess what? You don't get as much iron as the players who do. I don't know if that's the best way to make Minecraft work, and I'd love to see how that goes in the future. Also, it's just worth mentioning real quick, there are other changes we didn't talk about in today's snapshot video, including bone meal can be used to grow kelp, weeping vines, and twisting vines. So, as well as growing the new twisting vine, you can also now use it to grow kelp and weeping vines. I thought it was so weird you couldn't grow bone meal, kelp with bone meals before, but now you can. Hoes have been improved significantly. You know what? They're still upset that people are degrading hoes and saying they're not worth their time, so they've made it so it's now the default thing for not only hay, not only the Nether warp blocks, but also warped warp blocks, kelp blocks, shroom lights, and the dried kelp blocks, as well as targets as well, which I think is fun. Again, they're trying to create a category of blocks which are mineable with hoes, and I like the process they're going at it with, so that works for me. Also, doors, rails, buttons, pressure plates, redstone, and more can be placed on soul sand and full block of snow layers. Because soul sand previously was a 15/16th of a block, a lot of things can be placed on it that now can, and I like that. Again, it's trying to make the Nether into a more soul sandable place, giving it more of a great purpose, which I like. Also, soul sand with a rail on top no longer slowed down minecarts. This is something I genuinely didn't know happens, and I find that hilarious personally. Also, TNT and campfires will now ignite when hit by any burning projectile. So personally, I think that's pretty cool. I thought TNT worked that way, but maybe it's a Bedrock / console thing. But campfires being ignited when hit by a burning arrow, that's super cool. That's a mechanic I'm really down with. Also, guess what? The bell will now ring when hit by any projectile. Which means here is today's reminder that you need to hit that bell, or smash that bell, What do YouTubers say these days? Why is it smash the bell? Why can't you politely tap the bell and be notified of future videos? Why does that have to be smash the bell as if your life depends on it? I'm so excited for you to smash the bell, and you know what I won't be excited for? You not smashing the bell, because that makes me sad, and you know what makes me sad also? The end of this video, which is coming up real quick after we explain the new Bedrock beta, because a brand new beta has come out for Minecraft Bedrock, the 1.15 update that is expected soon. Nothing to do with the Nether update. Don't ask why Minecraft Bedrock is working on an unrelated Nether update right now, and the long story is that, like, yeah, Minecraft Bedrock makes a lot of updates. This one is focused on parity, but they've made a bunch of bug fixes for it. Bug fixes which are quite important, like fixing several crashes, which, you know, Minecraft Bedrock is quite famous for. Fixing those is always important. So there's a lot of crashes that have been fixed, including one that's while loading the game, including one that's while saving the game. Those are both important things to see. We also have something that I think is great, because they are still working on console additions to Bedrock conversions. Again, super important for PlayStation 4 players, but also for Xbox One players. They've managed to fix some issues that have been around forever, so I love that they've finally done that. Also, we've got a bunch of other fixes to gameplay, which I think are always important, like block breaking lag and stuff like that should be going down. As well as that, we also have some add-on changes, which you might appreciate there. But long story short, it's a bug fix update. There's a reason we spend a billion times as much duration on this as we do on Bedrock beta, but I have to mention that it's out because I like to give you the weekly roundup on everything that's inside of it. Let me know your thoughts this snapshot video. Do you like that we covered the 3 major features in more depth and didn't really dive into the other stuff, or do you want to see all of these small little changes, because they're the niche things that I love seeing be updated? But maybe you enjoyed this style of video more. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. Thank you for watching this though, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.